We can't catch a break. I don't know what's true. I don't know what I'm looking at when I see the news. Trump's destroying Iran. Trump's warning everybody in Iran he's going to blow up all of their freaking cats and dogs. This is a plan from Trump to re-infrastructure everything so that China is getting squeezed and doesn't have oil, and the only place that everybody's going to be able to get it is from us. I don't have a freaking clue. You want to have a refreshing take from somebody? I cannot figure it out, but it seems bad. It feels bad. I didn't get Epstein arrests. I don't have cheaper gas. I don't have a cheaper mortgage. Interest rates aren't lower. I have to care about the Middle East way more than I ever wanted to in my entire life. I know all that's true. One thing I don't know is true, though, is how are my kids going to do in 30 years? Is anything I'm building going to matter? Are they going to build an AI center database facility, a data center 6 miles down the road and suck all the water out of the entire area? I don't know. Can't tell. Is Palantir going to be watching everything I say? They already do. That's how I'm doing. How are you guys doing? You doing good? I doubt it. I doubt you're doing good. That's okay, though. That's okay. We're going to figure it all out. We're going to figure it all out today on the Ross DeBoss Show, baby. Welcome to the deal, okay? I'm going to start with something that, you know, the first thing that I think of that a lot of people are feeling, which we're going to go over this shortly. It's going to be a short show today. It's not going to be that elaborate. My goal is to help you know that you're not alone in the wilderness, and it is a wilderness out here right now. All of us feel the same way. There's a lot of people that are really mad at people for abandoning Trump, and there's a lot of people that are really mad at people for sticking by Trump, even though it seems like he's abandoned them. I don't know which category I'm in right now, but all I know is all I can do is call balls and strikes. Unlike the umpires, have you guys seen the new thing with the baseball where there's an AI robot that knows if it's a ball or a strike, and the umpire just keeps biffing it entirely and getting it wrong, and the batter is going, "Hey, check it and see if this was right," and then they check it and see, and then it turns out the umpire's wrong, like a lot of times. I don't know why we still have umpires then. So anyway, there's that. But all I can do, from my limited perspective and my limited knowledge, is call balls and strikes. We don't have Epstein arrests. Our gas isn't better. The interest rates aren't better. We didn't get a wall. They're not deporting fast enough to matter. The Doge fraud and waste findings were not solidified into law. We are most likely going to lose the midterms, meaning we, like the conservative side of the aisle, regardless of whether I'm vehemently opposed to what most of them want now, I still recognize that if the left gets in power, we have mass immigration, mass gender, woke theory being pushed everywhere, which we're going to talk about that in a minute. And so I obviously have to be conservative still and go, man, I hope that the people that are supposed to be representing me are representing at least some type of something that I can at least hold on to. But so anyway, Trump saying that he's going to end the civilization. I just want to go over a few things with you guys. Just let me show you what this video says, okay? So that way you can kind of see what I'm seeing and see what I'm saying when I'm looking at this, okay? Just bear with me. All right, we're gonna have a good time for a short time, and then I'll let you guys do you. Okay, boom. All right, let me put this one on for y'all so you can see it. Well, I'm not too embarrassed to admit that that's how it feels, but I don't know if it's true. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's actually true, but that's certainly how it feels, bro. I'm not afraid to say it. Is it better than what Kamala and them would have done? Yeah, but that's not the metric. You can't really like call that the metric. Like, yeah, my dude didn't do this, but my dude tweeted some weird stuff recently, and I don't know what to think about it. And people are like, well, if he's saying that he's going to destroy the entire civilization of Iran, a civilization ending event that he's going to perpetuate, and he's going to hit bridges and water plants and power plants and all this stuff in Iran, that's going to, the same people that were saying the Iranian people are free and happy, look what he did at the beginning of this thing, aren't recognizing that now what he's about to hit is going to hit those same people that we were trying to get free and happy. And so they're kind of quiet about it. So I'm like, maybe Trump's just bluffing. I don't freaking know, dude. What I do know is I'm sick of looking at this stuff. What I do know is I don't have the energy that I used to care about all this stuff. What I do know is that right now I'm having to basically give, I call it a 3-month check. Like, dude, I have to tune out right now. I have to tune out and just go focus on things that I can control, like my business and the helping people figure out social media and helping people figure out how to make videos that are good and getting more leads for their businesses and stuff like that, because I can't control anything in politics. No matter what kind of content I make, I'm not going to change the entire landscape of all, because these people are not controlled by mine and yours opinions. That's the problem. They're controlled by money. Whatever lobbyists put these politicians into power is the lobbyist that expects them to do what they say to do. And that's kind of just the way it works. And that sucks, but it's the case, bro. It's the case, bro. So anyways, that's one guy saying that. I happen to say that maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong. One thing that can't be right, though, one thing that simply cannot be right is this next take, because I don't agree with Trump at all about this. Okay, this is clearly not accurate. Okay, this is him saying that he's lost no support. None. Ah, bro. Look, I've got my finger on the pulse of things. Okay? Like, no way. No, every single person that I talk to, almost all of them are going, dude, I don't know what I think right now. We'll wait and see, but I don't know what I think right now. That's not unanimous, absolute support. That's what's daddy doing? It looks like he just hit mom at the dinner table, and I hope this turns out for our benefit later. But everybody's just supposed to kind of keep eating like it's all good. It's not all good. This is getting weird. I'm hoping that it turns out good. Am I allowed to say that? That I hope it turns out good and it was the better option, but it doesn't feel good right now. So there you go. Do with that what you want, but it's the freaking truth, bro. That's an absolute lie. That it's just nothing but goodies going on. No way, bro. No way. And like the one thing I do know is that you've got to be careful of where the enemies lie. And I'll break this down because we do know the real enemy of the world is globalism. We do know the real enemy of the West is feminism. The real enemy of the West and the healthy countries that you would say have the least amount of suffering for humans inside of those countries is, generally speaking, capitalist countries. Okay, now I'm not saying that capitalism is perfect. It's just the best thing that we've got so far that we've tried. So these people, and I'll show you this video in a minute, this woman, she's talking about how women are empowered now and the only metric that matters is how men treat them because they don't need their money. And she's smirking the whole time and she's acting like men are the problem and blah, blah, blah. This is a massive issue because the capitalist ideology and the freedom movements of the world have essentially given rise to the ability to think critically into self-determination. That's a good thing, okay? And the opposite of that is what happened with Marxism, and what Marxism is trying to do from the Frankfurt School of Marxism back in the 20s and 30s, I think it was. They've basically created all of these ideologies that essentially rip out authority structures from all of society so that they can basically be put back into the hands of the government as the only authority structure, like we saw in Mao's China, where millions were killed and starved, and they basically have totalitarian control of the country now. So, but anyway, I want you guys to watch this girl's video, and I'm going to break down how this feminist idea, which is a real enemy that I can look at and go, this is actually bad. And that's why I'm nervous about Trump doing these things, because it seems like it's pushing a globalist, the elites are pulling the strings of the military, of our military, to basically kind of restructure governments the way they want. And I just don't know how I feel about that long term. And I could be wrong. I'm open with that, but I want to talk about the real problem here and help you see it a little bit. Okay, so here you go. Um, this sounds like women's liberation. You know, it sounds good in theory, but when you look behind what's coming up with these ideas, it's actually, this idea is carefully wrapped destruction of everything good in human society. Let me explain. 1923-ish, the Frankfurt School, Marxist intellectuals. I'll read this because I wrote this whole thing out earlier. I was going back and forth with AI so I could kind of put it all in a package together for you guys to make it make sense. Marxist intellectuals at the Frankfurt School of Marxism basically declared war on the patriarchal family. Marxists have always openly stated their goal: destroy every traditional authority, the family, the father, the church, and old customs, okay? So they can replace it with what they think is better, but it ends up being the all-powerful state that helped to destroy those things, okay? Herbert Marcuse spelled it out in his book in 1955, Eros or Oros, I don't know how to say that, and Civilization. Smash monogamy, smash repression, embrace polymorphous perversity. In plain English, it's do what thou wilt, okay? That's straight from Aleister Crowley's, and that's straight from Aleister Crowley, and became the motto of Anton LaVey's Church of Satan. One of the crew used Marxist theory in universities. The other one used black robes and shock value. Both wanted the same thing: tear down the old order, okay? And what happens is they replace it with the new stuff, and they act like it's better. They act like the new order is going to be better, but they cloak it and do what you want. Get rid of the traditional authority structures because you should be the authority. Do what you want to do. But it's interesting because even in the satanic cult, everything is about you being your own God. You have the right to be able to figure out everything on your own and make everything serve you. And what happens in that space is you become a self-indulging black hole, and it kind of doesn't work the way that you think it should work in the end. When you're selfish all the time and you pursue your own interest above everybody else's, you actually end up empty. And if you haven't figured that out yet, you haven't lived long enough yet. So anyway, let me keep talking about this. So when societies fully embrace this ideology, like in Mao's China, the Cultural Revolution was to destroy the four olds: old ideas, old culture, old customs, and the family authority. Kids were ordered to denounce their own parents. Traditional structures were smashed. What filled the vacuum? The total state control under Mao and the party, millions dead, families shattered, and the people lost every shred of personal freedom. Fast forward to the West, second wave feminism, no fault. I would even say first wave feminism if you really want to dig deep into that. There was a lot of opposition to first wave feminism to begin with. Anyways, second wave feminism, no fault divorce, woman flooding the workforce, grandma stayed married because they had to. Well, now a woman makes her own money, so the only thing a man can offer is how he treats her. Marriage collapses on vibes. And how did I feel that day? Which women are prone to having way lower lows and way higher highs than men. So on those low lows, they get divorced. And so what happens? Birth rates plummet. They look at that like shackles. Oh, I'm going to be a barefoot woman in the kitchen. So birth rates plummet. Well, who likes that? It's not an accident. It's not an accident that birth rates plummet. The WEF and the Club of Rome warned in the limits to growth in 1972, and Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum ran with it in the Great Reset. Essentially, that Yuval Noah Harari, he's that guy who, I think he's Jewish, but he basically calls most humans in the future the useless class, and fewer people are easier to control. So if you back out of all this, the same ideology rolled into queer theory, right? And Michael Foucault, or Foucault, however you want to say it, basically a push to abolish the age of consent laws, and Gail Rubin and Thinking Sex defending pedophiles as just another erotic orientation. It's the same exact thing. Live your truth, pursue your own pleasure. Financial independence is empowerment. You do you. It sounds like liberation. Pursue self-interest. It's actually just do what thou wilt to your own pleasure, and then the state quietly grabs control of everything eventually anyways. I know that's kind of a weird thing. And this AI explanation of this, when we were going back and forth, it doesn't make perfect sense, but it's all the same thing. The Marxists want to get rid of you having to care about any authority until you've demolished all old authority. And then what's the only new authority? Them, right? The Satanists want you to demolish old authority and get rid of every single structure that existed, including the nuclear patriarchal family, until the only thing that exists is the state, them. Then they get rid of your ability to have the church or any other kind of organized authority. And then who's the only authority? The state. It's all the same exact thing, okay? It's all the same exact thing. So I hope that makes sense. And this woman thinks that she's talking about woman empowerment, but it goes so much deeper than that. And I hope that that was a decent explanation of it. Anyways, get your kid out of schools. Get your kid out of the rat race of depression and anxiety and trying to take pills to get rid of that. And I'll explain what I mean. I want you guys to see what this guy was saying, because it's worthwhile to listen to. Here you go. I don't know where the volume is. Oh, there. I don't know if you knew that. That's a weird thing to learn. That's a weird thing to learn. It truly is a prison planet. They're trying to control every component of what we're doing. And I don't know how that ties into what I was looking at. I just want everybody to unplug as best as they can and realize that almost none of your thoughts are original thoughts. None of your vibes are like original vibes. Everything is trying to steal your vibes, bro. Everything's trying to steal your intellectual capabilities. Everything's trying to steal your attention. Everything's trying to tell you what you should be thinking, and literally pays billions of dollars through advertising and through weird technology in your phones and stuff like that to basically be able to control you at a greater degree. Why? So you purchase more crap, you're easier to control, and you're basically easier to manipulate. That's why the IQ of all generations have been getting dumber and dumber and dumber over time. It's the food that you're eating, it's the water that you're drinking, it's the poison you're consuming that they're allowing you to consume, because stupid people are easier to control. And if there's fewer of us, there's less prison guards needed by the end. That's the whole point, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. You wonder why you want society to be good, but it keeps getting worse. It's because they are in control of society and they are pushing you down into the prison ideologically, metaphorically, and realistically over the course of your life. That's why previous generations had it better than we do, and everything seems harder now. And yeah, it just, look, once you see it, you can't unsee it. The goal is to make you weak and helpless and to make you dependent and to make less of you. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. And the law system isn't even designed to help you anymore, bro. The law system isn't even helping you anymore. That's why people are having to do stuff like this. Check this out. These Swedish kids, Swedish girl 15 and 4 teenage brothers are jailed after gang lured taxi driver, 26 years old, into the woods and hanged him in revenge for her. Why did they have to do that? Why in the world did they have to do that? Because even the police authorities that you expect to protect you are not there to protect you a lot of times. Like the law system, when like the whole point of the Declaration of Independence basically says when in the course of human events that your government sucks and stops trying to help you actually be able to pursue a good life, it is your obligation as a human being to separate from them and to pursue a ratification and an establishment of a government that is helping you pursue the ends, where you can actually do things that are good for humanity. That just makes sense. It's like when you're at a bad job and the manager sucks and you know he's trying to cut your hours on purpose to make your life hard, so you'll quit. You go, dude, I'm gonna go work somewhere else where they want me to win. It's the same exact thing. And you're seeing that in law enforcement, where they're pulling people over all the time for stupid tint or for speeding 3 miles over the speed limit just so they can generate revenue for the state. And you're like, bro, I saw y'all let everybody go on the Epstein list. The cat's out of the bag here, bro. The cat's out of the bag. And that's why I love these First Amendment auditor videos too, where they'll go into somewhere that they're allowed to be recording because the Bill of Rights tells us we can. And then the police try to like basically use unauthorized authority to say, hey, you're making people uncomfortable. You guys got to get out of here. You got to leave. And the First Amendment auditor would be like, even though they're annoying, they're like, I don't have to leave here. What are you talking about? You don't have the right to kick me out of a public place that I pay taxes to be in just because somebody's uncomfortable. That's not the way it works. Respect my rights. And then if they don't respect their rights, they have a lawsuit and they end up making $50,000 to $100,000 and it gets settled that way, you know? And so maybe I should go be a First Amendment auditor, bro. But all I'm saying is like the system is not set up to help you. Look at all the taxes you have to pay and what do you get for it? What do you get for it? Look at all of the food that you have to spend 2 or 3 times the money on so that you don't buy the one with the poison. Can I get the normal food? If you pay extra, you can get the normal food. Can I just get the normal air? If you pay extra, you can get the normal air. Can I get the water without everybody's recycled pharmaceuticals in it that make me slow and dumb? If you pay extra, you can get out of that. It's like everybody's in the rat trap at the bottom of the thing and are all trying to scurry our way to the top so we can get the cheese that doesn't have the mold that makes us live to 30 instead of the 90. You know what I mean? You have to pay extra to get out of the thing. And it's like, that's what I think Andrew Tate's always talking about. Escape the matrix, bruh. Escape the matrix, bruv. You know, whatever. Now, I don't appreciate the fact that the way he started out getting out of the matrix was essentially pimping women digitally to men that were easy to manipulate. Like, but I can still eat the meat of everything he says and spit out the bones and go, yeah, you do need to escape the matrix, bro. We got this Kangen water system or whatever, and like what it's supposed to do to help you get rid of toxins and stuff like that. It's like the most expensive thing I've ever bought for like helping me escape like the stuff they're trying to do to us, you know? Anyways, I'm spending money on a lot of this stuff myself, trying to get out of and help my wife and my children and all them get out of any kind of control that they have on us in any capacity. And that's just one of the ways I'm doing it, but another, we moved out to the middle of the country, bro. That helps a lot too. We know our neighbors well. We get along well. We're growing food. We're eating our chickens that we fed, that we looked at, that we took care of. You know, it's like a lot of that kind of thing. Anyways, dude, I'm sorry. I'm just ranting right now because I'm sick of everybody being like, everybody's just going through a hard time. And I feel like it is orchestrated to be that way for you. And that's wrong. It's wrong that life is incredibly difficult for everybody. And if you think it's hard for us as Americans, you know, I know in Thailand and places like that, you can go live off $2,000 or $3,000 a month, happy as pie. I know you can, but I don't want to live in Thailand, baby. I want to live in the United States of America. I want stuff to be affordable here. I want life to be affordable for you. I don't want you to not be able to have the guns you want to have to defend against a tyrannical government in case they decide to do some crazy things because you had to go live in Thailand where you have no real freedoms as far as being able to resist somebody attempting to kill you from the government, which is the ultimate freedom. If you can't resist the other dude in the room with a gun, then as soon as he wants, you're under his control. That's just the way it is. If you don't think that matters, look at COVID. Look at what happened during COVID. Any country can turn tyrannical immediately if you have no way to basically make them not bite you. You know what I mean? That's the scary thing. And that's why it matters so much that you have the ability to have firearms and things like that. Anyways, dude, let me show you guys one more thing. One more thing since we're on the subject. Talking about hilariousness. Look, these dudes went into a Chinese restaurant and acted like they were the authority. And they're basically just telling everybody like, hey, this is wrong. This is wrong. Do you want to know how worthless your government is, bro? You want to know how worthless your government is? Your government agencies don't even catch this stuff. Like the people that are doing this and having terribly unhealthy restaurants and all that, your government doesn't catch. These dudes pretend like they're from the government and they go in and they do a health inspection. You know he's about to get trouble. You saw that face. Oh no. Okay, this isn't the bad part yet. Keep watching. I mean, look how dirty this place is. Do you really think, if you're honest, do you really think the places that serve you Chinese food and stuff like that are clean back there? I mean, some of them might be, but just keep watching and see what this looks like back here. These dudes are doing God's work, bro. Dude, those are just egg rolls just sitting out. They're just sitting out. You know that's not the right way. They're not refrigerated or nothing. They're just sitting out. There's envelopes on the top here. There's bills right here. There's bills and there's fingernail clippers, bro. Fingernail clippers and stinking envelopes here. And then you've got egg rolls right underneath that, dog. Right underneath there. Okay? Like, do you really think, like, you don't think they're putting those in your bag? You're crazy if you don't think so. Let's keep watching. This got to get off the floor. Literally, it's a bucket of chicken wings or chicken food, something kind of, some kind of chicken, some kind of something on the ground. And look at how dirty the thing is next to it. When do you think this little shelf right here, when do you think the last time that was actually cleaned, bro? When do you think? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes are doing more than the health inspector ever does. You know what I'm saying? Like, just looking at this stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you look, obviously that fork, you could tell that gunk on the fork right in this region, right here, has been there for some time, bro. Okay, you're not fooling anybody. And the lid under there, that means nobody swept this thing in a minute, bro. That's what I'm saying. These places, bro. What's this bucket doing? What this bucket have in it that they still use it for, but it's empty right now? You know they ain't cleaning that thing in betwixt. You know they're not cleaning it in betwixt uses, bro. You know they're not. Ah, this is messing with my Chinese love, bro. I can only eat Chinese every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm already fat. You can't. Whenever somebody sees a fat person like me eating bad food, it's like watching a fairy get their wings. You're like, oh, I know how he turned out this way. You got to eat healthier if you're my size. You know, you can't just go all out and be a full blown glutton because you just can't. You know what I'm saying? That's not. It's like it's not the way to go. It's not the way to do things. And I'm trying to really lose weight for real right now. You said there was a roach. Yeah, it was one. Bro. Yeah, anyway, be careful where you eat, man. These dudes are doing God's work, showing everybody what it looks like behind the scenes. Honestly, how useless is your government? How useless is your government if places can operate like this? You know what I mean? Like, and you don't think that's everywhere, bro? Like, our government is so worthless in so many ways, dude. And all the fraud and the waste and everything, they just blow everybody's money on the dumbest stuff that gets recycled back to the elite politicians that put the stupid, like, budget items into play, and then they end up benefiting, and like all of the actual functional things that are supposed to make society better just never get done. That's just the way it is, bro. That's why you don't want the state to have control. That's why you don't want to embrace Marxism and feminism, because it'll end up ruining the authority structures that are set up in society that are actually for your benefit, and it replaces it with the state that has never been for your benefit in the end. Hope that makes sense. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you found this funny and refreshing to some degree, or at least truthful. And have a great day, everybody. God bless you. Mwah, 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 mwah.